Okay, welcome back. Grade 11s. I want to cover income and expenses. So it's quite a short question. And okay, without wasting any time. So we have a situation where Alice sells food from a kiosk that she rents in a town. The expenses associated with ingredients and labor for a plate is 30 rands. So these 30 rands, it's what Alice is spending to make a plate. So the formula for expenses equals to 500 rands. So this 500 rands, this is what we call our fixed expense, which may be rent and any other costs, electricity and so forth, that she has to pay, since we were told that she's renting a place in town so that she can, and then the 30 rand is made for the things that she used to make a plate. So expenses equals to 500 rands plus 30 rands multiplied by the number of plates she sells, or the plates that she make. So now, the graph below shows the expenses and income for a month. So I try to project my graph on the other page so that I will just keep on switching from this one to the other. Okay? Sorry. Technology. Okay, let's move down. So here is the graph. So the graph, we have our number of plates. There's our x-axis. Underneath, then we have the amount in rands. So, and then we have these two graphs, the income graph and the expense graph. Normally, my advice is when you are given a graph, especially the income and the expense graph, the income graph always starts at 0. Because otherwise, if you sell nothing, you get nothing. But you will only start making money when you start selling things. But as for the expense graph, it would start at some amount, because of course for you to start a business, you need to have started with some amount. That is why the expense graph would start on the upper line. But as time goes, you will find that they will intersect. Remember this point where our graph, where the income and expense graph, this is our break-even point. Break-even point. At this point, what is worth noting is that the amount that you are earning and the amount that you spend on the business are now equal. So meaning to say, at this point, you are making, there is no profit, there is also no loss. You are not making any loss. You are not making any profit. So you are not making any money. You have broken even, meaning the money that you spent in the business and the money that you are earning from the business, they are equal at that point. But now, before then, you are still making a loss. You are making a loss because you can see your income graph is below the expenses. So you are making a loss. You are making a loss. But just after that, now you start making a profit. Perfect. And then, okay, let's start with the question. Let's start with the question. So use the above information in the graph to answer the questions that follow. 1.1. Write down the independent variable in the context. This should come as, I would believe that this is a simple question, okay? So, just a word of an advice. Your independent variable will always be on your x-axis. So this is our independent variable. This one. So meaning to say our independent variable is our number of plates. And then what is on the y-axis is going to be your dependent variable. The mathematics kids would quietly and quickly understand this. So, understand this. Your independent variable, please forgive my spelling there. Your independent variable will always be on your on the x-axis or at the bottom here, then the dependent is going to be on your y-axis. Let's move on. 1.2, determine the amount Alice will pay as fixed expenses. You see now the issue, analyzing your situation before you start answering the questions makes it easy for you. Now, the fixed expenses, I have already highlighted the fixed expense already. On your expenses graph, on your expenses formula, already I have said this is my fixed expense. This one, the 500 rands. So please note, if you happen to be given a formula that says expense equals to, so this first part of the equation before the plus sign, the 500 plus, this one is your fixed expenses. Then this one is the variable one that you will make based on the number of plates that you. So if you are to make one plate a day, or say, because I would assume this is in a month, if you are to make one plate, then of course this part of the equation will be 30 multiplied by 1. So it will be 30 plus the 500 that you have to spend. So the fixed expense has to be 500 rands. So fixed expense is 500 rands. So this is 500 rands. Please note the units. Remember, Kafam said the independent is going to be number of plates. Number of plates, that's right, what is at the bottom of the graph. Then 1.3, write down the formula for the income. If a plate is sold at 50 rands in form of, so income equals to, so if your plate costs 50 rand, so the income that you are going to make or earn depends on how many plates you sell. So if you are going to sell one plate, you make 50 rand. If you sell 2 plates, 100 rands, 3 plates, 150, and so forth. So in this case, we would agree that our formula has to be now, it's 50 rand multiplied by the number of plates. And let me just write this in full. Multiplied by the number of plates sold. You understand? 50 rands, you sell one plate, you make 50 rands. 50 rands, you sell 2 plates, you make 100 rands. You sell 3 plates, so you will just be substituting with the number of plates that are sold in a month. 1.4. Determine the profit at the break-even point. If you understand what I just said about the break-even point, already we have our answer there. At the break-even point, remember. So, by definition, if you were to define what the break-even point is, what would you say? The break-even point is where your income and your expenses are equal. So, mean to say the amount that you have spent in the business and the amount that you are earning for that business are equal. So mean to say you are not making any profit and also you are not making any loss. So what is the profit? So the profit, you can now say profit now, it's 0 rands, or you can just write no profit. So Kafa, you are not making any, no profit. No profit, or you can just write 0 rands. So you are not making any profit, you are also not making any loss. It's just, doesn't need you to calculate a lot of things. 1.5, determine the loss when 8 plates are sold. So if you are going to sell 8 plates, how much are you going to lose? Going back to our graph, if you get what I just said, to say, if you look at this, of course 8 plates is going to be here. You are not yet making. So as I was just highlighting to say, until this point, you are still making a loss because your income graph is below the expense. You will start making profit after the break-even point. So before you break even, you are still making a loss. You understand? So meaning to say 8 plates are there, but we don't have to, let's forget using the graph, we have the formulas. Let's use our formulas to calculate this. So to say, okay, if I'm selling, or if I'm making 8 plates, how much am I going to spend? Expenses. Here's my expenses. Remember, it's 500 plus 30 rands multiplied by how many plates? 8 plates. Now we need to know how much we are going. Then you need your calculator for that. 500 there plus 30 multiplied by 8. This gave me. So meaning to say it costs you 740 rands to make 30 plates. But what about the income? How much are you going to earn for those plates? It's going to be 50 rands multiplied by 30, multiplied by 8 plates. Sorry about that. Multiplied by 8 plates, and this will give you 50 times 8. That should be 400, I guess. That should be 400 rands. 400 rands. So how much are you losing? So now, for your loss now, or your profit is going to be now 740 minus 400, which will give you 340. This is your loss. This is the amount of money that you are losing. Okay, I think for today we can end on this. Thank you so much. Just watch out for other videos.